Now seating for Empty Theater Club.
Hi everyone, welcome to Empty Theater Club. I'm Val.
And I'm Cam.
This is a show for those who have a Letterboxd account and or have been a victim of some straight man who has a Letterboxd account. Come gab with us. Today, this is our pilot episode. Yeah, many such cases, many such screenplays came before us to get to this point, but we're so excited. Big episode today with just how many things are happening via film updates on Twitter.
All and out. Everybody has something to say today.
Me citing our sources.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, where to begin? Kim, where do you want to start?
I'm pulling up my Twitter right now, but the big thing that I sent you and literally gasped when I saw was the stupid, excuse me, not stupid, put some respect on his name, but the stills from Robert Zemeckis' new movie of a de-aged Tom Hanks and Robin Wright. Did you see these?
No, it makes me kind of sad. And also I'm like, wait, how old are these people now? They're how old?
Okay, I will say Tom Hanks, any day, anytime, whenever.
Well, the thing is about Tom Hanks is that he is married to Rita Wilson. I'm always talking about the show Girls, but Rita Wilson famously plays Barney's mother.
Even 5 minutes in, and we're already talking.
5 minutes in. Okay, 5 minutes in, we're talking about Girls.
Oh my God, I didn't even think this is the reunion from Forrest Gump. I didn't even
Yes,
think
exactly. This is a
been in a movie together before. That's crazy. All of them reunion. Wow. I will say I feel really bad for Robin Wright though, because she was married to Sean Penn for a really long time. But I think she has love for him, so that's concerning.
Sean Penn, enemy of the pod, allegedly.
Yeah. You know what my dad said to me the other day? He goes, this movie looks good. It's that one with Sean Penn and Dakota Johnson. I gasped. They have a movie together. It just came out.
They do.
They do.
They do. Not only do they have a movie together, but like my dad enjoys the movie.
Also famously in that movie with Dakota Fanning, who we love on the pod.
Wait, remind me of the movie.
I'm Sam. That's what it's called. Michelle Pfeiffer too. Wow.
Michelle Pfeiffer. Oh, Michelle Pfeiffer.
A woman. So
well, that's a win for feminism. And that's enough women. It's like,
oh my God, and her daughter is Molly Gordon from The Bear.
Wait, this is huge. Huge.
An Nepo baby of the director I Am Sam. What?
And well, Dakota Johnson, her web connects us all.
Yes. And I love Molly Gordon. That was the whole thing. Wow. Shock. Okay. Catherine Bigelow also has a new film coming out, but do we care? Let's ask the audience.
Clap if you care.
Who did we say was going to be in it? It was kind of a cat. Oh, Rebecca Ferguson, booked and busy.
Greta Lee.
But there's something else related to film we need to talk about. The Nosferatu trailer, which just dropped.
This cast is amazing. I just love seeing Willem Dafoe as a professor. I love that this is his typecast now.
Yes.
But Lily Rose Depp, our girl.
I had doubts.
I have doubts.
So we famously know Anya Taylor-Joy was casted originally and then replaced by Lily Rose Depp. Everybody loves Anya, but I will say I'm actually going to give Lily her credit for the idol on this one, because her ability to be like
the range,
but like the theme of like sex, right? Like Nosferatu and vampires always like comes around to that topic, and her being like, I mean, like not like vampirism being like a sexual awakening. Like I think she's gonna eat shit up. Her laying in bed,
the arch,
also like turned on, like really, really good. I'm actually so excited for her in it.
I think she thrives in a dark piece that yes has sexual innuendos in it. The Idol. Talk about like she is an amazing actress. She had a bad script, but like this, I think this is finally the sweet spot of like we saw in The King. She had a minor role, but like she ate that up too. Sexual innuendos, like that's where she fell in love with Timothy Chalamet. But I think this is definitely the sweet spot of like finally a good script, good director, and good like acting skills. I'm excited for her. I'm very, very excited for her.
Mr. Robert Eggers, he's almost creating his own like universal horror monster movies, kind of like he's got the sea shandies, he's got the witch.
I agree.
I want to see a universe when all these characters interact with each other.
And maybe like this is a question for him, but maybe in his mind, it's easier for him to write like scripts with that in mind.
Yeah.
Because I feel like any of those characters could be dropped in,
right?
And it wouldn't be the weirdest thing. It's kind of like Yorgos creating his own cinematic universe. Good for
Yeah.
Tigers. This is good. Very, very excited for this one. And also comes out on Christmas.
A Christmas movie, baby. A
It's-
horror movie at Christmas time. I long for the days.
Exactly. I'm like, come on, paganism. Let's talk about what
Yes.
the reason for the season truly is. Well, let's get into, I think, our next segment, which is the Tom Cruise corner.
Put your manners back in.
Well, how has Tom Cruise come into the zeitgeist this week?
I think his biggest thing was the Eras tour.
Yeah, Tom Cruise was spotted, not only spotted, but was publicly embraced.
Waving his hand around to shake it off. I wonder if Tom Cruise has ever actually listened to a Taylor Swift song.
I also wonder, has Tom Cruise ever seen the movie Jackie?
I will walk with Jack.
An essential question. Yes.
Question that, like, before I go to bed at night, I do think Tom Cruise, he enjoys coconut cakes, but has that same Tom Cruise seen the movie Jackie? And I just think there's two types of people in the world, those who have seen it, those who haven't. It's a moment that once you've seen it, it stays with you. Would I know? I don't know.
Well, and would Tom Cruise send a coconut cake to Jackie, you know?
To the titular Jackie Bouvier Kennedy.
Onassis Kennedy, famously.
Onassis. Correct.
Right.
I feel like he would, but like
He'd be like,
wouldn't-
so sorry.
Yes. Right. I feel like he would just like, yeah, he would send it to her and then she would just kind of be like, what is this? I'm not having this. Like, she's like, I'm not a
He'd give it
fan
to
of
her grandson, Jack Schlossberg, who's been making the headlines lately.
his TikTok is such a beautiful piece of media where like it makes me so happy to have grown up on the internet. Because like imagine not understanding that. Imagine being like, I can't believe that this is his account. Like it brings me so much joy.
He has so much hate. Oh my God, I know.
No, so much hate where it's like there are cathedrals everywhere. We're looking at one right now. Let's enjoy the view.
Right.
And you know who else was in his time? Picasso. We have to learn to tell artists that we love them when they're around.
Right.
Let's start leaving Jack Schlossberg some love comments.
Let him
That's all I
know
say.
his love.
But hey, today, this is your call to action to let Jack Schlossberg know that you love him. He's definitely an it boy right now. Another it boy, Tom Blythe. Say it with me.
Tom Blythe. Book
Yeah.
and employee. He was seen with Luca Guadagnino.
Would love to know, just movie lover aside, what those like how do they go into these conversations? Because when like Timothée Chalamet met Martin Scorsese, he had those notes in front of him. And even Martin was like, oh, God, like, wow, you're prepared. He said something along the vein of like, oh, I'm meeting like one of my heroes. So I do wonder of like, okay, Tom Blythe, you're his agent. What do you like say to him? What is the training that goes into it? When you obviously know what the conversation is maybe going to be about, I would love to be like a fly on the wall.
Right. Well, and like Jacob Elordi had met with him too. He really is collecting all those boys.
Yeah, right. And then it makes me think like, how are those conversations? What differs in those conversations?
Luca just had like a Twitter, like he's so on the pulse about who the girlies love. Like casting Mike Feist and Josh O'Connor in Challengers is insane. If like you remember, I mean, we have been Mike and Josh girlies since day one.
Oh,
like,
since day one.
Story. I mean, you're a Mike girl musical theater way back when.
It's crazy. Mike has been in my like personal Rolodex since like 2012.
Wow.
Because of Newsies.
Right.
But yes, I do agree. And I do wonder, I'm like, is it because like, how is he plugged in? Is he just that much of like the people's princess that we're consuming the same media? He's definitely someone I would love to like pick his brain one day of like saying from a casting standpoint.
How did he get Timothy? He's the reason Timothy, I mean, Timothy's been working, but to pick him off.
The pick of the litter. Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, I agree. Like he has seen...
Luca is kind of the person who crowns the It Boys, honestly. So, you know, we're talking like Tom Blythe, Jacob Elordi. I am curious who the person who we like don't know really.
It makes me think like, wow, what a time to be alive. I have a crush on a guy there that I don't even know. Like,
right.
And like 6 months, like, you know,
I'm already in love.
I'm already in love with the next guy that Luca is talking with right now.
I just think it's insane that Luca Guadagnino, who's not from the Midwest, is able to capture the Midwest, like film it in a way that feels so like authentic. I think the Midwest is a beautiful place, and he is gets it.
Like, there's something so Midwestern about the fact when Timothy says, hey, you're out of line. Like, that is something that, like, I'm sure I've heard at a gas station in the middle of Iowa. Like, I need to ask him, like, who do you have on the ground in all of the spots that you've filmed? Like, even in Challengers, like, the way that he crafts every like message he wants so beautifully with such respect. Like, the way that us, two Midwesterners, get to say, like, yes, Bones and all, cannibalism aside, was a beautiful homage to the Midwest. Right. The way that Serena Williams and Coco Gauff were saying, like, Challengers killed it with the tennis. Like, who does he find? The boots on the ground.
But also, like, Taylor Russell, I had not known her before Bones and all. And, oh my God, it girl moment as well. Like,
it girl moment. And I like what you said, that Luca does crown the it boy. And you know who crowns the it, like, person? Lueve.
You're right. And they are hard at work at it, especially recently.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know who was front row? Well, at least invited, at least. Our man's Enzo Vorginzic. Vorginzic? It's like a Polish last name. It's not even Spanish.
I do appreciate so much that they have added him to their litter.
I need to discuss my theory with you all. Is not even necessarily theory, but it's more of my personal belief that Charli XCX, Enzo from Society of the Snow, and Adam Driver, in my mind, those two people are cousins.
Yeah.
Like, you know how Charli was like, people say we're alike, they say we've got the same hair. Like, she wasn't singing about Lord.
No. She's about Adam Driver.
She was singing about Adam Driver. She was singing about her close personal friend, Enzo Vorginzic. It's the dark hair. It's the heightness of it all. And they all have something that, like, can't necessarily be taught, and they came out of nowhere.
Wow.
And by nowhere, I mean, like, she's from Essex, but, like, you know, a music's town. But they all have an iconic feature.
You're
right.
Like,
Charli has her you know, larynx and pharynx, her voice, and her hair. So striking. Perfect eyebrows. Adam, you know, has his height. His height, his eyebrows, his eyes. He has that. Enzo has, you know, his chest. Also his perfect face.
Great
and
hair.
Like,
Adam Driver, famously in Ferrari. Which is something you have a lot of expertise on.
I just came back from the Barcelona Grand Prix because a woman can have layers. And there's one thing about me is that I'm going to be multifaceted.
And is the Grand Prix featured in the movie Ferrari? Is that the one?
That's not the one.
Okay.
It's Monaco. But no, like I said, if I'm going to be multifaceted, I'm going to have different interests. And yet all those interests are going to be a Venn diagram. They're all going to meet in the middle. And the apex of this is Ferrari starring Adam Driver. Let me say this, attending a Grand Prix, attending an F1 race, something that I'm trying to get Cam to follow. But attending a Grand Prix is kind of like being like attending an award show that you're just presenting at. Like, when you have the pressure, there was no pressure. I was there for vibes. It was like, I'm here to have a good time. I'm here to show up and be pretty. People know that I'm coming and they're excited to see me. I'm excited to catch up with people. But it's specifically like when you're attending it and you're presenting, but you have a major project coming up. So people still have interview questions for you. And they're saying, oh, I can't wait for your next season of whatever. And you're like, yeah, I can't say much right now, but I'm really excited. But today is not about me. Today is about my colleagues. That is exactly, imagine how it felt. It was so exciting where, like, you would see people who were really brokenhearted. I was one of them eventually because Ferrari kind of flopped. But no, it just felt really nice to be like, wait, loving this.
I do keep seeing the girlies on Twitter posting photos of little men in race car outfits and being like, he's so baby. And you're not the only one. I am seeing it.
It's for the girls. It's like F1R, the girls, for sure, for sure. I just need more, like, I'm like, women, do we know about this? People who are attracted to men, are we aware that F1 exists? My other lovely driver is George Russell. And because I just love a British media. Like, I love British people who are made for an American or for non-people. Like, George Russell is kind of like, what is it? Like, Bend It Like Beckham. That's a British media made for a non-British audience.
Right.
Versus, like, 4 Weddings and a Funeral, British media made for British audiences. But George Russell is definitely for the girls who are not British, but like still love an accent. So, but George Russell, I would say, is my current crush. Okay, who is your current crush, would you say?
I think mine is Jace from House of Dragon. They gave him that long Timothée Chalamet-esque hair, and I'm sad every week. He's so fine. I mean, you know what? I'll admit, I didn't mind the bangs and short hair from season 1. It just wasn't like, you know, he was a background character. He wasn't given his moment. Now he's the first scene being him at Winterfell.
At the wall, mind you, at the wall.
Photos Harry just posted on his Instagram too. Like, I think what I like the most about him too is like he does have the British face. He's got the Timothy hair. He has the Tom Holland voice. I think he sounds so much like Tom Holland, and I find that
well, and the same mannerisms, the same.
There's a lot of similarities.
The Tom Holland school of acting, where it's like, wait, I'm emotionally invested in you, and when you're sad,
he seems very kind. Like he could play Spider-Man, dare I say it, and I would watch.
Oh, I do love Jace. And the good thing about Sundays, to really bring it back, because we are so positively connected, House of Dragon and F1, both happening on Sundays.
So, but here's my gag on Sundays as well. The thing that fills the void for me is the fact I just bought a subscription for AMC Plus, which is not cheap, so I can watch Interview with the Vampire, which also airs on Sunday nights at the same time of House of Dragon. So I have both screens up, like going insane.
Wait, when you said drama and you said Grey Worm, I said I'm there.
I can't believe I am seeing more and more. I think the show, like recently, there were clips going around Twitter like crazy, and I feel like it's been getting I don't know if it's just because I'm in the fandom now, but it's getting so much more attention. I think because the performances are so amazing. But I've seen critics like Kyle Buchanan from New York Times, who I love, tweeting more and more about the show, and the fact it's not gotten nominated for anything. Emmys just always picks their shows that they're like, we're gonna give awards. It's like Hacks. Love Hacks. Ted Lasso was it for a hot minute. House of Dragons is kind of like the Crown. Like it's just the Emmys decide what 5 shows there are and then only give them those awards when it's like love a little bit. It's so frustrating.
So happy that Ted Lasso is no longer ever in the running to steal other awards from other shows. Yeah, interesting you said House of Dragon is kind of like the Crown, because I feel like it suffered. Like it did not sweep as much as I feel like their press tour
compared to Game of Thrones, at least, right?
Yeah, like compared to Game of Thrones, like that is such a loyal fan base, where when it first came out, season 1, people did not watch because they were like, I don't want the show to be ruined for me, because it'll, in my mind, I'm pretty sure the goal is for it to lead up to the intro of Game of Thrones chronologically. So a lot of people were just kind of like, no, whatever. But I think the reason that it blew up is because of those viral moments of like, Negronis, Spagliati. So I think that's kind of why.
Yes, that's true.
It was more pushed by virality more than like content itself. Because a lot of people have not seen House of Dragon, but can recite like anything about from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, the thing that like annoys me, and I know you recently did a Game of Thrones rewatch, but I hate when I guess it's George R.R. Martin, but I hate like it's so edgy, it's so insane. But I feel like House of Dragons not been playing into that as much as Game of Thrones.
I feel like they took the feedback from Game of Thrones, which was like, they didn't have intimacy coordinators back then. They didn't have any of that. And also a lot of it was just like, okay, blood and gore, I know to expect that. And that's why it turned off a lot of people. And, it's still the same showrunner, which I will not be saying his name because I do not know it. I forgot it. And also, I don't really want to give that a platform right now. But I think that's probably what it is. It's kind of like, because woke. Because woke. House of the Dragon. And also, like, season 1 was so heavy on incest because it's Game of Thrones. And it had to set it up for the audience. So, yeah, because woke. I think. Yeah. I think you're right about like the Emmys and the Oscars. They choose certain moments and certain movies,
I do feel like the Oscars has gotten, I don't know, because I feel like it kind of goes back and forth with like, I'm just always like, spread the love, give something, if you're going to find it, And they don't do that. They did just announce their new Academy members. We haven't talked about it. Lily Gladstone, Sandra Hüller, Greta Lee.
There are some choices in here where I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
I do think it would be fun. I don't know when their next election is, but I do think like a Margot Robbie president of the Academy would kind of slay. So
that would slay, because she definitely wants to be solidified as a producer, which I do love. I do love that she wants to take that route completely. It's a good route for her. But yeah, no, speaking of producing, my aunt, Jennifer Lopez, allegedly, this is not
the thing you were gonna tell me and I didn't, and I did see this and I didn't tell you. She's producing.
Jennifer Lopez is producing Emily Henry's Happy Place.
She is producing producing
a series adaptation. There's a green light to produce this series.
This is huge for you. I don't know this book or whatever it is. So
I don't either, but I'm not I know Emily Henry because of Friends on Vacation or something. I'm just happy that Jennifer Lopez has something to do.
You know Emily Henry, babe. She's the one that the Ayo Edebri Paul Mescal romantic movie that people want to do. She wrote the book, that script. Wow.
What's that book? What's that book called?
That was called Beach Read. And when
that's the one people love. Yes. Everyone loves.
When people asked her about it, she said they're two of my favorite Irish actors. That's hilarious.
There you go.
What have you bought in to fill the void lately? Anything?
The money I spent in Barcelona. I do love the expression of like, don't go broke trying to be rich. But like, one thing about me was like, I'm trying to scheme for Pat, and that's the dream. Like, I would go bankrupt. I'd go into credit card debt, I think, to go into credit.
Already done.
Completely done. But because it was the whole time I was just like, this is so Ferrari starring Penelope Cruz and Adam Driver of me. And also the movie Herbie Fully Loaded starring Lindsay Lohan. I really do believe there was a butterfly effect of like me watching that movie from a young age and being like, okay, fast cars.
The thing about racing that messes me up though is like the most exciting part of it to me is when somebody like crashes and is fatally wounded. Like that's the gag of it, is like you're on the edge of your seat waiting for somebody to like die, kind of.
But like, here's the thing, like it's so much more than that. Because no one crashed. Like it's so exciting. Sometimes like this past race was 66 laps. But it flew by because they're so fast.
All right. So our final bit of our podcast is for your group chat.
This is a pop culture moment that instead of an FYC campaign, it's more of an FYGC campaign. This is the pop culture moment that defined our week. And I'm going to go ahead and say, I think for both of us, it was definitely this is going to ruin the tour quote from Britney Spears' ex. Justin Timberlake.
What tour? The world
tour. No, look, it's ACAB, but let's let that guy cook a little bit longer.
Did you see that they found the cop, Ginger, first of all, so respect that.
And
he's been like harassing rich people or something. Like there's something else that he's been doing.
Yes,
like,
because he's in the Hamptons.
Yeah.
He keeps, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's literally like, yes, ACAB.
Right.
But let him be on the streets a little bit longer because he's harassing white people in the Hamptons. There was someone on Twitter that was like, because they had the picture of the cop. Yeah. He's Ginger, like you said. Someone was like, I scrolled too fast, and I thought this was Ethan Slater, Ariana's boyfriend. It was so true. But that's definitely the FYGC of the week.
Yes. Such a good one. This has been Empty Theater Club.
Yes, join us next week. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. Yeah. And welcome to the club.
Welcome to the club. See you next week.
Bye.
See you next week.